Formula 1 arrives at Japan for the 9th round of the 2021 F1-E Championship. And despite the fact of promises of bringing upgrades, none of the 10 teams actually brought upgrades. Mercedes say they were looking to bring an upgrade to the following round when they were back in Europe, but they do hope that they will be able to convert their dominant qualifying pace into more race wins. They say they should have worked on a few practice programs that should be able to get more race pace out of the car, and hopefully that the setups will work towards both Hamilton and Van Dorn to help them through the tyre wear and get hopefully a 1-2. Meanwhile, Red Bull were another team also looking to bring upgrades to the following round. They say that Norris still needs to step up and get more used to the car, but have said that the car is coming forwards with the new engine, and they've got a new upgrade for the aero and chassis side that should propel them towards the top 4 teams. Another team as well that also promised upgrades for Japan was Jaguar. Jaguar, however, had discovered there was a technical issue with one of the upgrades and announced that they would be delaying it until they were back in Europe. They said this was a shame, as they were hoping that the upgrade would be able to deliver finally some good results for them after a disappointing season that has seen Valtteri Bottas the only driver not to score points throughout the season. But on pole then, Lewis Hamilton getting those crucial 2 points in his fight for the title. Stoffel Van Dorn is second. Daniel Ricciardo has his best qualifying of the season, he's in third. Sebastian Vettel starts fourth alongside Russell. Lando Norris as well, his best qualifying so far. Maybe he's starting to get grips with that Red Bull. He starts along 6th ahead of McLaren. Max Verstappen starts down in 8th place, with Leclerc and Verline rounding out the top 10. Sergio Perez once again outside the top 10. Is this a ploy to do the one stop around Suzuka? We'll have to wait and see. Sainz as well, he's been doing very good so far with some of the one stops after a 5th place at the previous round at Singapore. Gasly, Alonso, Ocon and Schumacher as well start further down the grid, and then the two usual back marker teams are the 2 Jaguars and the 2 Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1-E mod, episode number 9 for the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka in this season 3 2021. First of all though, if you have missed any of the previous videos, I recommend go and check them out, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. See plenty more episodes of the F1-E mod on F1 2020 and F1 2021. This series will be coming back the latter half of next year as well. Just before I mention, a quick mention, of course, I am still aiming for 500 subscribers before F1 2021 comes out. I'm currently on 415 at the time of recording, so if you have not yet subscribed, then please do. It's the big red button under the video. It massively helps me out in sustaining the channel. But to Japan, a track that I've not really done well at on F1 2020. I've had a really big struggle with just getting the car to do any performance. The tyre, it just likes to overheat, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting with the tyre strategy. I did think about playing around with this 2-stop, trying to stop a little bit later, trying to do the medium strategy in the middle, then that way if the tyre wear is high, as I think it will be, and the tyres do overheat, then we will be able to switch up and go on for 2 sets of mediums. But the plan is to do soft, medium, soft hopefully, but we'll see how that gets on. As 5 lights come on then for the Japanese Grand Prix, and lights out and away we go. And it's a good, well, initially a good start. Russell has a poor start in the Aston Martin. We're going to pull on the outside towards Russell through the first corner. It's a very good start. One of the Mercedes is off track. I think that's Hamilton as well, going through the first corner. As we watch a replay with Russell, a poor start, he just bogged down, and then he got the better start, and as I came around he ran into his teammate and he's now lost a bit of his front wing. So Russell will be struggling in this race, but Stoffel Vandoorne is doing us a massive favour in our bid to become a world champion, because he has the lead ahead of Hamilton, who started on pole. Hamilton will get those 2 points for pole, but nevertheless the majority of the points are scored during the race. And Russell, interestingly as well, continues on. Like I was expecting him to come in, as the two Red Bulls now are close together. Verstappen very close to Norris, right up his rear diffuser, a little bit too close there. I wonder if team orders might come into play and Norris might move over, or if they change it over in the pit stops. We'll have to wait and see. But already lap 3 and the tyres are struggling. They're really bad. The front left and a bit the front right as well, they're just overheating. And you know, guys know on this game that if those internal carcass temperatures overheat, you have had it in terms of pace. We've got Vettel all over the back of us. I am able to make some pace up in the final sector where I'm a little bit fast in the AI, but lap 5 I just couldn't deal with it anymore. We're gonna come in for our first of 2 pit stops, so rather annoyingly we have to come in a bit early. This probably means we'll have to do 2 sets of mediums, although we'll see how it plays out. If we need to cover off anybody, we do have that option. But 2.9 seconds stop, a slower stop from the McLaren people. It's going to put us right at the back as well, so we need to make advantage, get through this traffic as soon as possible. Can we come out in front of one of the Dragon cars? Yes, we can. As well, I think that's Seta Camara, and one of the Jaguars, I think that's De Vries. So we move up to Bottas now. In the second Jaguar, we're going to dive down the inside of the hairpin. He's starting on medium, so it's good to get clear of him. And we move up into P17. Nicely done. Now we're moving up onto the Dragon car of Sonoda. It's an easy overtake around the outside on the approach to 130R, and up into P16 now as Mick Schumacher in the Chichitis has not had a great second half of the season. Mick, I don't know what it is with his qualifying. He's qualifying like way down where compared to Gasly, but we're going to have DRS on Schumacher now. This should be an easy move. The DS engine isn't what it was in seasons 1 and 2, and in season 3 we're just able to blast past with the Porsche engine. And now we're catching up to Ocon and Gasly as well, the 2 Frenchmen. Getting very close to Ocon there through the first corner. Almost got Ocon locked up, and we have to take avoiding action. Again, going through the S's as well. Tyre wear as well, really high. We've only been on 5 laps and we've already got 16% tyre wear. And now we're going to have a look down the inside of Ocon, dive down the inside and up what is now to P8 as a couple more people start to make their pit stops, including a couple of the Red Bulls. I think Russell and Vettel as well are also out behind. I think Russell had that front wing replaced, which is why he's come up behind the Red Bulls as we now come on to the back of Pierre Gasly. Can we make this overtake into 130R? We're going to have to look. This is going to be on the inside into 130R.
Cannot be serious!
Don't worry, I'm not the Monaco TV director. I just had to insert that just for the lols. But here it is then, down the inside, and it's a beautiful move. I don't think I've ever made a move like this down the inside of any F1 car into 130. Around the outside I've done a few moves, but the inside it was no. And this was actually it's not a normal move. And Gasly there, you did have to lift off, I must admit. You did have to lift off there. But anyway, we look ahead then to our race leader, Sergio Perez. But he's been chased down by Lewis Hamilton. Perez on the 1 stop. We need to watch for Perez, because otherwise we might come out behind him. So watch Perez's teammate Verline. He started in the top 10, so he's on a 2 stop. He's stuck in traffic, and unfortunately for Pascal, he's not having a very good time of it at late, and he's out of the race with an engine failure. No safety car though, so Perez is just going to come in anyway. And you can notice here, mediums off, hards are going on, so that should take him to the end of the race, and the performance on the hards should be enough for him to Move that as Van Dorn. Well, Hamilton was ahead of Van Dorn, but Van Dorn has gone round the outside of Hamilton into turn 1, and through the S section, Van Dorn retakes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean the Japanese Grand Prix, excuse me, as the tyres are once again overheating. Coming through into the end of the middle sector, a little bit doing that. Doing it in the middle sector, which is a bit later on when they were doing on the softs in the first sector. But now Vettel's having to go up the inside as well, but he decides to pull out, not as keeping his foot in as I did on the overtake on Gasly, and we retain what is P2 because a few people have now come into the pits. Myself, I'm going to come into the pits now and cover off Vettel because I predicted that Vettel would be coming in. So it's going to be another set of mediums to take us to the end of the Grand Prix. That should be enough to cover off Vettel, and also not to really have the tyre wear has been really poor. I've not been able to really push. I've not been comfortable in this race whatsoever. As well, so we're going to come out in P5, so we've got a lot of work to. I don't think we're going to be able to catch Perez in the amount of laps, but we'll see. But yes, still in the front lead of this race, and is Stoffel Van Dorn. As it stands, obviously we will still have the lead of the championship, but we'll have to wait and see. Van Dorn putting around the tyre. Perez is the one to watch. Will he slip backwards on those hard tyres? Excuse me. I'll have to wait and see. As we watch Sebastian Vettel, he's got DRS on ourselves. Can he have a look down into turn 1? No, he can't. He's not brave enough, and we retained P6. We retain P5. So this is now Ricciardo. Now he has DRS as well on Sergio Perez, but it's just not close enough for Ricciardo, and it's just the story of his race. As well as we also now have Vettel has another look down the inside into turn 1, but again can't keep his foot in through into turn 1, isn't willing to go inside, and this time Russell has hit his teammate again. Georges has an absolute nightmare of a race, and surely is going to come in as a lock up from Perez. That's going to allow Ricciardo now to come and have a look at Perez. Ricciardo goes from the outside, will turn to the inside for one of the S's, then will turn back to the outside. But Perez looks like he's got the momentum and the traction. This is a great little battle between Ricciardo and Perez, and Ricciardo has lost out going through into the middle sector, and Perez retains that podium position. As we watch George Russell, then this time he is coming into the pits to replace that front wing. So rather than not, that's a couple of front wings that George has been through today. A really frustrating day for George, and he's not going to get any points now. As Vettel once again, he's right on our rear end here. Can we hold on for P5? We're coming. This is Final Fantasy all over again. For those of you who were subscribed all those years ago, we're going to defend from Vettel coming through the final corners. A little bit of understeers. We don't really get the iconic ideal exit, as we're just going to crash across the line as well. Just because this has been, for me, it's not been a great race. Losing out to our teammate, poor qualifying, but Van Dorn did us a big favour winning that race, and he got fastest lap as well. Definitely Van Dorn deserved that race win from ahead of Hamilton, and Sergio Perez as well did well on his one stop to keep ahead of Ricciardo, Verstappen and Norris also get big points for them. Sainz, more points for him, doing a very good season. Alonso comes into the points for the second time this season. Russell will be disappointedly this season. He hasn't had a great time of it since his race win at Azerbaijan, George. Gasly as well, no points today for Pierre, although he did try as best as he can with that second-hand car. Ocon as well. Leclerc had a nightmare down in P14. Schumacher 15th. Tsunoda, Bottas, Seta Camara and De Vries were the other finishers. Verline, the only man yet not to finish. So our lead is being cut to 25 points. The maximum you can get per race is 28. So it's not alarm bells yet, but obviously the last race is Silverstone, and I'm being terrible at Silverstone on this game. So we'll see. Vettel as well is sort of comfortably in no man's land in P3. Perez is up to P4. Van Dorn also jumps up to P5. Verline and Russell now sort of holding on really for P7 and 8. No really other changes apart from Norris coming into the top 12. The constructors is getting a little bit more nervous. We might not be able to hold on as McLaren for this constructors title. Mercedes are really closing in at a vast race. Not if they get another 1-2 at the next Grand Prix, then we might be behind them. Aston Martin and Porsche are just settling for P3 and 4, and then obviously we've got Ferrari and Red Bull battling it out, and then obviously the bottom sides really only Alpine were the only team to score today, and even then it was only 1 point. But yes, if you have enjoyed today's video of the F1-E mod, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for news. If you'll plenty more episodes of the F1-E mod as when they come out. Until the next video, next time, take care. Thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.